Welcome to Tales of Hope, where every paw print counts. Animal tie in the house, spreading love, hear the sounds. Every week animal stories, right and welfare in the mix. Step up, take action, we're giving animals a fix. Tales of Hope, raise your voice, make some noise. Change the game for every animal, girl and boy. One world, one fight, let's turn the page. A future for the voiceless, bring hope to center stage.
A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers and listeners around the globe. Today, we have a wonderful guest with us, Rini Dalal, who is a canine nutritionist, as well as she has her own brand, Doggit Nutri Zone, and she also works a lot for our furry babies. Rini, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for such a nice and warm welcome.
Thank you. Now, you grew up seeing your parents care for community dogs. How did this early experiences shape your bond with animals and eventually your decision to work in canine nutrition?
Yeah, so I did grow up watching both my parents taking care of street dogs, and also we had two dogs at home. One of them was rescued, pedigree dog, rescued one. So my father was more into rescuing street dogs, helpless dogs and puppies, and bringing them to our society. Okay, so it was a society kind of setup, and trying to help them, trying to help those poor victims of rash driving and something of that sort. So I grew up looking up at that, and they also used to feed the local street dogs on our lane that time. And it really, I think it planted a seed of compassion in me from a very young age. I saw them trying to revive those dogs, trying to get the right treatment for those dogs. Sometimes it was not possible for them to get all the necessary help that at that point of time. So probably it instilled in me the love for dogs, mostly dogs. And thereafter I realized that only love and care are not enough to take care of these beings wholly. So then I realized bit by bit, after I started taking care of many other dogs, that its nutrition plays a very important part. Their food plays a very important part of how they function, how they feel, how they behave. So that's why I delved into canine nutrition as as a field, as a work, and I got acquainted with it.
Now, there was very important, very nice thing that you mentioned, that your parents used to bring the furry babies to the society. Now, I'm just going a bit off the track sort of thing. Given the current scenario that we face with, the societies, the RWAs, so I just want to understand, were people receptive at that time, or did we have the same sort of wall that we have today?
No, so I am talking about the 1990s, and so this was, my father was in the bank, and this was their society, and all the bankers were living there from the same fraternity. And quite honestly, I did not see any kind of such hostile situations at that point of time like I see now. My father used to bring, puppies or dogs in really bad shape. Their intestines are hanging out. There's no, they are surviving, they're breathing. So you can't, of course, just leave them on the road. And nobody, they were kept probably in the generator room or in the garage, which is a common garage, not like, it was not ours personally. And nobody even, mentioned or told him or anything of that sort, or came to our doorstep and argue and fight with us that why have you brought this kind of dog here and it's stinking, throw it out or something of that. Nobody. I think the society at that point of time was not so much hostile, and they were receptive. They used to accept, okay, this is a poor soul. And many a times my father did have to euthanize those dogs because their condition was beyond any help. And I'm talking about 90. So a lot of veterinary help which is available right now, even in
Was
Kolkata, that was not possible at that point of time. So he had to euthanize a lot of souls like that, which were beyond any help. But apart from that, there were dogs we used to feed, who used to live in the society. Two dogs I remember, two male dogs, and one of them was even blind, and blind from one eye. And we used to feed them, and somebody else used to also feed them, and they used to take care of the society, like a guard dog. So nobody used to point any finger at my father or my parents or my mother, or create a ruckus about it. So I think it was a different time, and people were more accepting towards the street dogs than compared to what we see now.
I would say God bless us now. That's,
Yeah.
no. Your name was chosen to rhyme with Minnie.
Yeah.
Now, your parents' beloved pecking geese. How do you see the connection between identity, memory, and the animals who walk with us?
Yeah, so Minnie was again, they got her. She was a Pekingese, half Pomeranian kind of dog, I think. And they got her from Karsiong because the family were not able to keep her. So they got her down to Kolkata. And when I was born, my father used to tell me that, she's your elder sibling, elder sister, and I'm the younger one. So he, it was just by fluke, or he thought that my Rini will be my nickname, but everybody started calling me Rini, and that's how it came into being. And so from a very young age, right from my birth, I think I have been intertwined. My name has been intertwined with the animal, so it kind of probably gave me a mission, life mission, that okay, that I have. I mean, it was natural. It's not like I have to do something for animals, but it came out naturally for the dogs from a very young age. And I mean, I think her spirit lived. It carried forward with my walk right now. For the street dogs, for the pets and everything. So I think it really built that cornerstone in my life from a very young age.
I think we all have a natural calling. It's not that we need to pretend. It's a natural transition for all of us.
Right.
That's what I have been, with all the guests that I've been interviewing, nobody has to like pretend or work hard that we want to do. It's like a natural thing for us, like what we have our own babies, human babies. And when it comes to non-humans, I think we all have had that thing that it was a natural calling, that this is a part of or a way of our life that needs to align with us.
Yeah, very true.
Now, Naughty marked the start of your journey as a pet parent. What lessons from raising him taught you the difference between being a sibling to a dog and being a parent?
So, okay, firstly, Naughty was a girl, not a boy.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for that.
No, it's okay. She was a Labrador, and I got her, I think, in 2011. So even at that point of time, I was not much aware about, the pet breeding industry. So I did buy that puppy, which I will now never buy another puppy in my life ever again. So and that point of time, this was the dog or puppy which I got at home. So it was my responsibility. I had to take that accountability of her health, nutrition, of her mental well-being. Uh, so I learned a lot of things on the way, about dogs, about their food, about their nutrition. In fact, she was the one for whom I started thoroughly working towards canine nutrition, because she had developed certain health issues. And unfortunately, the vets out here, they did a lot of experiments with a lot of antibiotics, a lot of medicines, but nothing worked. She had this terrible skin infection which used to come back again. So I read and I understood, and then I thought, okay, let's stop all these medications and let's just focus on her food. And slowly, and gradually her health improved. The skin problems eradicated, went off, vanished like that. So yeah, she was the first one, who really helped me understand about my responsibility towards these souls. I mean, I don't call them voiceless, but yeah, to understand them thoroughly.
Yeah, very true. You mentioned about the skin infection.
Yeah.
So, did you change the diet, or what was it that?
Yeah, I did change the diet. So, even at that point of time, the doctors did not, never used to prescribe so much of kibble, as far as I remember, because uh, I changed her diet. I made to go her on a grain-free diet. Okay, so no wheat, no rice, mainly meat-based and vegetables, and certain supplements. So it did help her. And or else the doctors were, the vets were only prescribing steroids after steroids and steroids, which were again having a negative effect on her health. So that really helped her.
That's a very good thing for our viewers and listeners. I'm sure everybody listening out there, please mind the diets that you give to your furry babies. Now, you often say food can be the first and the safest medicine. Can you share a powerful story where the diet alone transformed a dog's health? I mean, I know you were talking about Naughty, but is there any other story that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of stories like that. I mean, I have clients, and there was this initial when I started off with Canine Nutrition as a professional professional mode. So there was this Dashand who came to me. I mean, of course, everything is done online, the consultation, and I saw his skin. He had severe skin trouble again. So, and we changed the diet. He was also overweight. So we changed the diet and transitioned into fresh food. He was on kibble that point of time, and we transitioned into fresh food. And then the change happened, and his coat became very glossy and very nice. I think I also have a story on my picture on my website homepage. I must be having it. So it really helped. It really helped him a lot.
Wonderful. That's such a nice story to listen to, because I think most of the pet parents do have this skin issue, with most of the kids that we have.
Most of them, I mean, most of the cases I receive they are having problem with skin. I mean, recurring skin problems, itching, flaky, and they come up with things like no, their diet is all fine and all. But then when I started asking questions, and I realized that it's not fine, and it's also a difficult task to make the pet owners or pet parents realize that where you are going wrong. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pet parents have a lot of misconceptions. That's where we're coming to the next one. What are some of the biggest misconceptions pet parents have about kibbles versus fresh food, and how do you gently guide them to rethink nutrition?
Okay, so first thing is pet owners think that kibble is the go-to all diet. It's the safest, but they don't understand that kibble is is a processed food. It's a commercially made processed food, highly processed in very high temperature, which reduces their any kind of moisture, any nutrients is just taken off from there. Second misconception about kibble is it's good for dental health because it's hard. The dogs are chewing it. The dentures are supposed to remain absolutely fine, but no, that does not happen. The dogs still suffer from dental issues. Then some think that kibble is well balanced, but no, it is not well balanced. If you turn the food label, of the packaging, and you read and understand, because most pet parents, they don't understand. They will not understand how much, what proportion should be of the food present in it. So my maximum, you will see that there are terms like soy, wheat, which forms maximum portion of the kibble, and or else preservatives, which are very very harmful for the dogs. I mean, imagine if we are suppose we are supposed to eat that processed food daily, it will harm us, right? It will not do us any good. That's why we prefer cooking our food. We don't even go out and eat every day. We don't prefer eating junk food every day, right? We cook our food, which is cooked in a particular temperature. The moisture is retained in that food, and then we are able to digest the food properly, and that gives us whatever the strength, the energy, and all. The same thing happens is applicable on your dogs and as well as cats. And for some, it is kibble is more convenient. Just take a cup and just scoop it off and pour it in the bowl, and just the dog is okay, fine. But how do you compare it with the health of the dog in the long run? Because I mean, it's not that I mean, I have I keep receiving clients almost every week, every day. They are having trouble with the food, with the skin of the dog. Maximum pet parents have face skin problems because of kibble. Even after saying that, I'm not condemning anybody, that you are, I'm not shaming, I don't shame my clients or overwhelm them that okay, this is absolutely wrong, absolutely bad, because they did not know. Okay, they did not have that knowledge. So how are they going to understand? So when clients approach me, when even my friends approach me, so I try to guide them step by step. By step, I mean, when you are feeding kibble, try and feed also some portion of fresh food with it. It can be blanched vegetables, it can be boiled vegetables, it can be a boiled egg. Start from that. This transition will start from there, and slowly and gradually, when you go ahead, you will see the difference in the skin of the dog automatically. Of course, it is not a magic potion. It does not happen overnight. It might take 1 to 2 months to see the transition on the dog. But yeah, it will come definitely.
Rini, I'm going to come to certain things that you mentioned. That was serious myth busting for a lot of people out there who are going to be listening to this. What you mentioned about the kibbles and the dentures, because I think 4 years back, 3 years back, we came across one of the kids who had a lot of, dental issues. And I'm not going to name anybody out here, but we remember he was at one of the best clinics in Pune city. And the pet parents were saying, because we didn't feed him kibbles, is the reason now he has this. Now, I'm going to, taking this further, I have been also evolving in terms of learning and understanding. Recently, I had a guest on my show, and he's a double doctorate, Dr. Andrew Knight from UK. And he was mentioning to me, not only mentioning, it's documented, the journals are there, I will share with you since you're into canine nutrition. And he said, feeding your dog with vegan food or vegetarian food increases their lifespan by 1.5 times. And I was really, really surprised, because he shared a lot of documents with me. Because even for us, not only for us, but for a lot of people I know, we have always been told that dogs are carnivores, they need to eat meat and all that. And I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, because I've been a vegetarian for almost 35 to 37 years of life. And when we were getting our first baby, me and my wife, we kept discussing, we'll try and stick to the vegetarian diet and things like that. And I remember our first trip to the vet, who's also the godmother to our first baby, and everything went out of the window. It was like, hey, the dogs need, he needs to be given meat and all that. And then we started, but I tell you, 4 years down the line, I mean, coming today, when I've had this guest and all the documents that he's proving, he was also telling me the highest number of studies done in UK and around the world, there are about 83 studies that have been done uh, on this, that how it is healthier for dogs to eat vegan and vegetarian food. And I was surprised. And apart from that, because he was also mentioning that he has done, because he has all these documents, and he's done this, clinical trial where they have tested on palatability, how the dog tastes, and is he just, it's been forced upon him or what. And there were so many parameters that he was mentioning that really got me thinking, are we, it's probably in India, we're still not only in India, but in a lot of places around the globe, because I've been talking to people and they have been all been like, we're surprised that it is like that. But in UK, he has been telling me that it has been now officially accepted that the vegan or the vegetarian food is much better for the dogs. Just, this is for the listeners and for you. I'll share with you all the documents so that you can have a look and see if it helps you as well.
Can I say something?
Please. Please. I mean, this is what it is all about.
Vegan and vegetarian or vegetarian diet for a dog. I mean, probably whatever studies he has done and palatability, which you are mentioning. Let's just say we pick up vegan food, we make some vegan food, just boil vegetables and give it to your dog. Will he have it? No.
Well, I'll be honest. With our fur baby, we don't just give him the vegetables, but at this point in time, we've shifted him. I'm going to be very honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
We've shifted him to a fish diet because he's a bit obese, sort of thing. So we're trying to, bring down his weight so that he's healthy. But what we do is now we do give him a lot of veggies to go with that, the fish meat. And from what we see, he's more happy eating the veggies that we give him, and these are like we're talking about carrots, peas, zucchinis, and you name it, the pumpkin and everything. It's not just one or two things. There's a whole lot of veggies that go with it, and he enjoys his meal from what we see it.
When you are giving the veggies, do you also are giving the fish along with it, or you are just giving the veggies?
No. We make it together, the veggies as well.
So that's why he is having it, because he has that taste of the fish, the meat in it. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm not going to, the studies are separate, but probably the kibble which is made vegan and vegetarian in the Western countries, they are also using certain, what should I say, chemicals or something, some elements to make it palatable. Okay, even the kibble which we have in India, okay, they are also made palatable that same way. Whenever you see the packaging label of kibble, you will find a lot of strange names are there, which
yes,
it is not possible for a layman to understand. Most of them, they do not use even the real meat. Okay, it's
yes. Okay, I agree.
The scraps of that sort, even probably dead meat in some cases. Okay. So that's how the palatability increases. A dog will have vegetables when the palatability is there, when the meat is mixed in it. Even some of my dogs, at least two of them, they refuse vegetables. They vehemently hate vegetables. They will not have. I have to, literally make a mush and then add chicken and chicken liver or organ meat with it, and then add some omega fatty acid, like a salmon oil or a nice ghee to it, and then only he'll have it. Okay, so that palatability depends a lot on what the dog is having.
Absolutely. No, this is just, we're not trying to debate. I'm just trying to say that this is a side of the coin that is also there. It's for people to see.
Another thing I would like to mention, UK and US, they have a body to govern the pet food.
Yes.
Right? Which is absolutely missing in India.
Yes.
Okay. The pedigree, the brand, all the brands you see here made in, you will turn the back, they'll say made in India, Noida, Faridabad and all. They are not regulated anywhere by any.
Rini, I'm not going to get into that sort of debate, but I will 100% agree with you. This is something I'm not going to debate. We know we don't have a very strong regulatory body when it comes, to the diet and the food. Yes, I will agree to that. But let's stay out of it because
Sure.
that's a very dicey topic to get into. Not that I'm trying to be politically correct.
No, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. I understand.
Yeah, but it's something that I would 100% agree with you because in US, not only in US and Europe, but most of the European countries, they have a very strong body that whatever you claim, you make sure you can, back it by.
There are a lot of recalls by this of these food even in US and UK. Whether it's of and the main head of these all these food of this kibble is Mars, Nestle Mars, making chocolates for us.
Yes, absolutely. Now, taking it further, how do you create personalized nutrition plans? What key factors about a dog's lifestyle, breed, and health do you always look at first?
Yeah. So when I create a diet plan, nutrition plan, I keep particular points, very important points in mind. The first being age and life stage of the dog. Whether that dog is, a puppy, because see, no two dogs are alike. Like
Yes.
no two human beings are alike. So even their requirement differs. Their personalities are different. That's what I've seen. All my dogs, whether on the street or at home, their personalities differ a lot. So no two dogs are alike. So first thing is their age and life stage. A puppy or an adult or a senior dog, all that, their nutrition plan will differ accordingly. Then there's their breed and size. So some breeds are prone to some health problems like hip dysplasia. It's the GSDs, German Shepherds, are very prone to it thanks to the rampant breeding industry. And then there's also the activity level of the dog. Some probably, if a dog is senior, then the dog spends most of the time at home sleeping or in a sedentary position. A working dog will have a different calorie intake compared to the senior dog. So that also depends. The health history of a dog. I always ask for any recent prescriptions or any health problems which the dog had faced in the past, so that I know what problem the dog had or is undergoing. Accordingly, I'll make the plan. The environment and climate the dog is living. Like I am from Kolkata, so it's very hot and humid out here. If somebody is from the north, is from North India, from the mountains and also, then that also the food habit differs a lot in that way. And most importantly, the preference of the owner, of the pet parent. I always first ask, my first question to a pet owner whenever he or she contacts me is, are you open to a meat-based diet for your dog or not? I do not prepare a vegetarian diet. It's always meat-based. So I clearly ask them that if you are okay with it or not, and if yes, then what kind of meat will you be able to source? So if somebody is from a tier 2 town, like city, like Jabalpur or Kanpur, like that, so the kind of meat availability depends on that. Okay, so maybe the type of fish which we have in here, it may not be available in Mumbai, so I have to think in those lines. Probably the person will not be able to source mutton or lamb. Maybe the person will need to stick to chicken most of the time because of the availability in his or her location. So I really, make an effort to understand the owner's, preference like that, and also their routine. If they will be able to stick to that diet plan when it's provided, and I make it. I mean, I do not overwhelm them with a lot of things, a lot of new things. I try and incorporate as much as minimal thing which they'll be able to do initially as possible, and definitely there's hand holding, making them understand, making them. I mean, literally sending them recipes how to cook the food, how to store the food, how to prep the food. So yeah, that's how I deal with that personalized nutrition plans for dogs.
That's a very nice one for the listeners. I'm sure if they need help, they can reach out to you. I'm sure about that. We'll give them the contact details as well. Have you noticed a difference in behavior and emotional stability of a dog when their diet shifts to fresh and bioavailable food?
Yes, so many times I have noticed that I mean, pet parents have come back to me and told me that the dogs have calmed down, and probably the dog was undergoing anxiety, stress. So as soon as they have shifted to a fresh food, balanced meal, a wholesome meal, so their anxiety level has gone down, their digestive issues have reduced, so they have become more trainable, and they are listening to their owners more, and even their emotional stability, it also has an effect with the food they are having. So suppose a dog is being fed a lot of grains, high on grains but low on meat. Okay, so then that dog's, of course, obesity is, the dog will be prone to obesity and become lethargic. And but yeah, as soon as the balance is achieved, the dog becomes better, a better version of himself or herself. So the right diet plays a lot of, I mean, it is very important for the emotional well-being of a dog. I have seen that.
That's a very nice one. Now, what we understand, you care for 60 plus street dogs. What role does nutrition play in their resilience against harsh street conditions?
So yes, 60 plus street dogs. That's a lot, a huge number. So see, basically, I think that if I'm feeding once a day the street dogs, I think that is enough for them. Then they are in a habit of scavenging, and understanding that they live on the road, they live in a harsh environment. They will look out for food somewhere or the other, and that will keep them little active. Apart from that, yes, nutrition plays a very important part, because their immunity, which is the main factor for a dog living on the street. If a dog is malnourished, if the dog is does not receive enough food, then their immunity drops. Then if the immunity declines, then there are a lot of other health issues which will come up, whether it is skin infections, whether it's a tick-borne disease. Okay, so all these issues are bound to crop up. Their energy level also goes down, and then of course their mental well-being, like I mentioned earlier, it will again have an effect. And I also feel that if you start feeding a dog, then the dog becomes more approachable to you, even if the dog is a shy one. Once you start feeding the dog regularly, that the dog becomes approachable gradually. Then it is easier to get hold of the dog and get him vaccinated or sterilized, or even for future, if the dog develops any health problems, it is easier to get hold of that dog and then send for treatment. So of course, feeding and the right food at least plays a very important part in this matter.
I'm just going to add to this. I don't take care of 60, I just take care of 6, to be honest, because that's what my pocket affords. Between me, my wife, and my mother. But what you mentioned about getting approachable to these dogs, I have in one that I take care of in my mother's compound. It's been more than 2 years. He still wouldn't come close to me. He knows I put the food and everything. And I have also been not very forceful that, you need to be sort of, we need to be close to each other. He knows where, because there's a feeding point which I've done. He knows the food is there. I mean, when he sees, he'll be close to me, but he would maintain that, 30 to 30 meters distance. And
I also have similar dogs for about, I mean, from the time I know that dog, maybe it's around 8 or 9 years. The dog does come near me. The dog will be very happy seeing me every day, will wag his tail madly. But then that's it. I cannot touch him.
Yes. And the other five that I have been taking care of, I mean, they are like, they would just jump all over me. They wouldn't, let me do anything else. But with him also, I've like, it's all right. I mean, if that's the way you want to be, I don't want to, encroach your territory. I'll let you be. When you're ready, I'm sure we'll connect with it. So, but yes, that is a very important thing you mentioned, that they become more receptible and approachable. And that is why I was able to get them sterilized, vaccinated, and all that. The next is due next month, so I'm just trying to work that out even for all the six. Now, with 200 plus sterilizations in 2 years, what link have you seen between nutrition, immunity, and recovery post surgery?
Like I mentioned, that food plays a very important part, in the sense that when I'm sending a dog for sterilization, I know that that dog is taken care of, well fed, so that the dog recovers faster after the surgery, post surgery. The chances of infection, is quite minimized that way. Malnourished dogs are very vulnerable to, post-op issues. They might, lag in the recovery process. So that's how it's very important. Their immunity should be strong enough to, to withhold that surgery phase, and come out nicely, come back to the location all hale and hearty. So yeah, so the link is, it's very clear. Nutrition is, the recovery time is what should I say, is increase. I mean, the recovery time is it is shorter compared to, a malnourished dog who is going for surgery. So yeah, I mean, so I take care of 60 plus dogs, and all the dogs which I have sterilized, they out of those 60 dogs, so I don't feed them, but I took a note that they have a feeder. They are in the area where they receive food. They may be in a busy market area, where the shopkeepers are giving them scraps and all. So they have some source of food. So they are healthy to look at. I never pick up malnourished or the dogs, or the dogs who are skin and bones. It's very difficult to send those dogs like that. So yeah, nutrition does play a very important role in their pre-surgery as well as post-surgery.
Touch wood, I would say.